Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. It's Lupa here. We're on part 2, you guys. This is like my 100th time trying to build this part. I talk a lot. But anyways, we are getting into the meat of this story, the long part. So before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like, and leave down your thoughts. Love to hear them. And let's get a conversation going here. I know a lot of my Facebook friends leave the comments in the posts. I would like to have some comments down here in the comments if possible. So yeah, let's get into it. So we're gonna be talking about the fall of 2016 through the fall of 2022. 6 years. Not full semesters and not always there, but there's a story to tell. 2016, the fall, was my best semester as of yet. It was my second semester. Kim was with me now. 4 classes, passed them all, enjoyed every minute of it. I was still struggling due to the fact I wasn't able to get anything in Braille that I could physically hold and read. It was all audio and what is that word? Anyways, I wasn't electronic. There we go. Everything was electronic form, and it was just not good. This is where my passion for education started to go downhill, which is really sad. But that semester was overall good. I fixed my financial aid things, which was still a little bit of a struggle, but it was done. Spring of 2017, I only took one class, which is political science. I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I did start listening to the news. I did have news apps because of this class, but that semester, that spring, my mental health was not doing so good. I was struggling. It was just not good. I can't explain it because in the moment I didn't realize that I was going through it until after the fact, when I remember feeling like I was awake and I was like, what just happened? What was that? But it is what it is, and it is in the past, and I've come to realize that it was my mental health that was really causing some stumbling there. However, toward that end of that semester, I started making the choice of stepping away from college for a little bit to attend to a independence program to teach me a couple of things. I've always wanted to, excuse me, that's how you know that I've been sitting here for a while, that I have a drink now and it's gone. But I wanted to learn how to cook and how to be confident with the stove and oven and all that stuff. I wanted to get better with my orientation abilities with computers, and so I made the choice to go to an independence program. However, that opened a can of worms that I never even thought existed, and I even never thought I would even open. But my DOR counselor, which has been one of the greatest struggles of my whole college journey, due to the person that she is, due to the things that she expects from me and the way she handles things, it's just not a good thing. And this is where I really saw that come into the whole situation. This is where she let the curtain fall open and for me to see who she really was. She wasn't happy that I made the choice to go to the program in Southern California, and she was like, "I've been doing research," which I did, which was surprising. I did a tour. I talked to people at that program. I was comfortable with that program. I've been to that campus before, to other departments, so I kind of knew this place, but not this specific program. I went on a tour. We talked to people. We talked to professors. Yada. She couldn't stand it. So I sent her an email after we talked about it, saying thank you for the opportunity and thank you for the information about this program, but I will stick with the Southern California program. Oh, it was like a bomb exploded. She called me 20 minutes later, insulting me to the skies and back, telling me I was immature, that I had bad friends, that I was a follower, that I was childish, that I was being ridiculous and not thinking, that how can I plagiarize, that I could go to jail for it, that I don't even remember. I blocked a lot of it out because it was the first time I've ever cried in a while. And she was stressing me out. She was insulting me, calling me childish. I needed to grow up. That how do I think I'm gonna get in life if I was always following somebody else? And I didn't know where all this was coming from. And she was not saying this like normal. Like, she wasn't talking. She was yelling in my ear. She sounded mean. She sounded very cold. And I just didn't know where it was coming from. And she finally says, I just received 2 emails from 2 different clients that are exactly the same. This is inappropriate. This is plagiarizing. You can go to jail for it. Yada yada. She finally convinced me, after all these tears and all of that insults and all the stress, to go to a tour at the Northern California program. Before that, I was gonna speak to somebody on the phone from that program. But before that phone call, which was going to be later that week, I spoke to Kim and I told her, hey, can you read me your email? Because even though we both decided to go to Southern California program, we didn't sit down and write the emails together. She read me hers. It was nothing alike of mine. It had the same message. It had the same thank you for your information and for bringing me aware of this program, but we don't want to go there kind of situation. It literally, she said we plagiarized. No, it was nothing the same. Kimberly's was more professional, more like, she's a better writer. So no, not the same. But we finally agreed to go to the program after I spoke to the person on the phone. One of the things that she kind of rubbed me the wrong way was that she was making me sound like my choices were wrong and that I wasn't choosing educational, like my choice was not informed and whatnot. I will say I went there with a bit of a chip on my shoulder with getting such attitude from 2 people. I went there. The program seemed good. There was extra classes there that I would have loved to take, but the fact that they were emphasizing how close they were to touristy places, to fun locations where we can go after classes, they rubbed me the wrong way. I just didn't like certain things and the way that they were presenting themselves as I don't know. I just didn't like it. I made my choice and I was open to going there. I'm not saying I wasn't, but they weren't saying anything to persuade me, anything to make me feel like this could be a better place to go. No. If they weren't playing the after school activities so much, maybe I would have gone, but I wasn't going there to have fun. I was going there to learn new skills. And I know other people would jump onto the opportunity of having fun, but not me. I'm a boring person. So that day came and went. We flew out there, by the way, and we flew back the same day. It was a fun trip, I will say that. But it made us miss our entrance date to the Southern California program, which we had planned out so that we would only miss 1 semester of college, which by this time it was ruined. We were supposed to go in July of 2017. We ended up going in October 16th of 2017, and we were there for 7 months. The best time of my life, I will admit. I got to meet myself in a way I never thought I would. I was really enjoying. I was still a shy person, but I was more comfortable with my disability. I was more comfortable with having conversations with other people. I felt part of a group, even if I wasn't the loudest one there or the smartest or the funniest. I still felt present and noticed, and I loved every minute of it. It was not the... Sorry, I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything. I wasn't focusing on my disability as I do here in my family, with my family. So when I came home, it was such a disaster for my mental health that summer. I'm just glad that my cousin Janet came along. We were reading books. She was reading to me. We were swimming together. We went to the beach. And that's the only thing that kept me from completely losing it. I wasn't ready for college after that, so I didn't go to college the fall of 2018. The whole 2019 was okay. The fall of 2019 was a fail. Even though that semester I met an amazing English professor. It was the first class I ever volunteered for anything. I was comfortable enough to speak out. The class was on the smaller side. And I just felt more comfortable. Like, she would call on me and I wouldn't panic. I would be okay. The first or second day that we met there, the girl in front of me turned around and introduced herself. Hey, we need help. I'm here. My name is so-and-so. And that has never happened. It was just an amazing experience, which I didn't get to keep or stay in, which really sucks. But the spring of 2019 was another struggle, because I had an Education 1 class that I was excited for. I did some volunteering at my middle school, which was fun. But the first and second meeting, I kind of felt a vibe from the professor, and the second meeting kind of proved that vibe. In front of the whole class, she was like, we're all put in situations that we're not comfortable with, and we have to work around them. And this semester, I've been put in a situation that I'm not comfortable with and I'm not happy with. I've never worked with people with disabilities, but I have to do it now. And the reason why I remember those words, and they might not be word for word, but it was the fact that she said that while I was there, and I was the person with a disability. I was blind. And she never came up to me for the first two meetings. It was not until the second meeting where she came and she's like, I don't know how to help you. I don't know what we're going to do, but we have to work together. And it was kind of soul-shattering to be treated that way. I've never experienced such things like that due to my disability. I've been very lucky. I haven't been bullied. I've been ignored, which is better than being bullied, and I'm used to that. I wouldn't have minded if she had told me that in private. I would have said, well, okay, we have to work on it. But the fact that she said that in front of everybody kind of like embarrassed me to no end. But I also had a child development 45 that semester. That professor taught about disabilities and how to figure out disabilities within children at a young age, yada yada. And I saw them talking a couple times. I actually had child development 45 on Saturdays, and one day my Education 1 professor was there, and I'm like, what the heck? And literally all of a sudden, Education 1, that teacher that had no idea what she was doing, became one of the best professors I ever had. The inclusivity that she put within her class, the hard work she put it with her teaching, the fact that she made sure that the other students were aware that not everyone was capable of doing certain things or needed different things to be access things. It was just amazing. But I ended up dropping that class. I also had English 28 that semester, and that one was fine. So in the fall of 2019, like I said, it was a failed semester. It was math. The math teacher was great in the way that he's taught. I understood. He had the tendency to like start saying, oh, you had this with this, and that's when I would get lost. But I would say 80% of the time I understood what he was saying. The problem was when I didn't advocate for myself. I would bring things up. He's like, that's not my problem. That's between you and the student with disabilities office. And I'm like, excuse me, sir. I have an accommodation letter that you're legally supposed to follow, and you accepted. You signed off on it. So you're in a contract technically. But he wouldn't budge, and I wasn't gonna fight. I didn't know how to advocate myself in that situation. Also for the tutoring, it was really hard to find somebody and to get things scheduled. And so I just gave up. I gave up on that semester, and I was done and over with it. I didn't stand up for myself, which I realized it after I stopped going to classes, and my mental health again took a turn and started tumbling, but it didn't tumble for long. 2020 was my best year, not just because I was partnered with Ethos, but due to COVID, everything was online, so I didn't have to go in person. In the winter of 2020, before everything started, I took English 101 again, and I passed it with flying colors. The spring, I had to drop 3 classes. They were like broadcasting classes and something else. I forgot the other one. But I couldn't do it during training with Ethos. It was impossible. I was up and running from 6 in the morning, and I was down and out by 8 in the evening. So there was no time for me to do anything but breathe. It wasn't a fail, because I did start a English 102 in April of that spring semester. I passed that again in the summer sections. I passed 103 in the Chicanos class. In the fall, I passed all my classes then. It was 2021 where the problems began. In 2020, I finished a big portion of my courses that I needed to do in order to transfer, and all I needed was biology, the lab, environmental science, a couple Chicanos classes. So I got everything I could out of the way, and I was just struggling to do those classes I couldn't do online. 2022 came and went. I got my dream job. I passed the classes. I failed only one. Toward the end of that year, I stopped working in November. I didn't have classes that semester, and that's when another fade in my vision. I'm sure it's the last fade I'll ever have. I lost the last bit of vision I had that semester, and as I said, it was the 5th time this happened, so I thought I had it under control. I thought I worked through it, but apparently I just pushed it aside because everything just went crazy the next semester. So this one's going to be a long conversation. It's going to be really in depth into my mental health. So we're going to leave it here, and we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys, and we will hope to see you soon.